Well, hello there everyone, Mr. E here, and welcome to a Zealot build compilation. This build compilation has 4 builds entailed within. You'll find the links and their relevant details down in the description if you want to jump straight to them, but just for some context, I have 4 builds. Each of them serves a slightly different purpose. We're going to start off with the general purpose, easiest to learn build here, the one that's just going to be the most standard out-of-the-box Zealot experience. Then we'll go into something that is specifically tailored to give you a higher win rate in those Havoc games, to be the best contributor to your team, especially if you're trying to climb Havoc rankings. And then I have 2 more that I'll consider creator's choice. These are very fun builds that I enjoy playing, but I didn't really know how to classify them otherwise, and they utilize different weapons. And I'll also include variants on these builds if you want to swap one weapon out for another, and they should all work relatively well. As a reminder, if you have any suggestions for things you'd like to see change about these compilations or anything, let me know. This is only the second compilation I've done, and you'll also find the links to the full build guides for these if you want to see like extended gameplay or a real breakdown on why we choose what talents we do. That'll be linked in the description as well underneath each build section. Thanks for watching, and let's go ahead here. We are starting things off with the standard Ultimate Zealot. This is just the most meta possible setup for the Zealot. We of course are using the dueling sword, we're using our most powerful ranged weapons, we are stacking curios, and we are going for a charge experience. So this is your mainline normal DPS experience. We are equal parts damage and tank. Very, very reliable and powerful build that will carry you all game long. No problems, no questions asked. Let's get into how to set this thing up. We want to start off with the dueling sword. The Mark IV Macabian dueling sword is the most powerful dueling sword. You'll want to have a stat distribution that looks something like this. You could also drop mobility and go for cleave damage there. For perks, Carapace and Unyielding. For blessings, Thrust and Uncanny Strike. Down here in the range weapon, we have 2 options. If you would like a more armor-focused killing tool, if you want something that can snipe faraway targets, then you should go with the Spearhead Bolt Gun here with these blessings, Cavalcade and Pinning Fire, with the perks of Carapace and Unyielding as well, with low mobility. Or, alternatively, you could go for the Flamethrower, the other Zealot's best weapon, with low mobility, and then Flak, Carapace, Blaze Away, and Penetrating Flame. For our curios here, we want triple toughness across the board, with enhanced revive speed, stamina regeneration, and combat ability regeneration. Let's check out our talents. We're going to come straight down the middle here. We're going to start with Disdain, then go Second Wind, Duelist, Melee Damage Boost, and then Blades of Faith as our blitz here. If you are playing on console and Blades of Faith just does not work well for you, you can choose any one of these other grenades as well. I highly would recommend Immolation Grenade to be a little bit more useful than the Stun Storm with this sort of offensive DPS focus build. We'll come here and go Until Death, and we'll take Sustained Assault on the left and then go Holy Revenant Against the Odds and Providence here in the center. Over here on the right, we take Good Balance, then we come back to the center and grab Abolish Blasphemers for that 15% damage versus elites. Over here, we can take Faithful Frenzy and go Benediction as our aura. This setup here does give you the option of all 3 auras, but I would recommend Benediction for most gameplay. When you are entering into Havoc, specifically ones with green goop on the floor, only then would I really recommend Beacon of Purity. For our ultimate, we are of course choosing the charge ability, very faithful with all of the ability modifiers added on here. We'll come all the way over on the right and grab Hubris as well as Repulsed for some nice extra melee damage, which is going to stack up very easily and give us some damage reduction as well. Then back over here on this left side, we are going to grab Enduring Faith, Invocation of Death, Scourge, Blinded by Blood, Blazing Piety with both of these nodes here, Righteous Warrior, and Stalwart. And so that is the setup there. Basic gameplay functions of this, as you'll see in the gameplay demonstration here in a second, is we're just going to be using our dueling sword, charging in on enemies and demolishing them with one big blow. This weapon does very, very solid damage on crits, and as you can see here, we have a lot of crit stacking and potential for headshot multipliers. Just be certain that you are just using your charges whenever you can, because they are just super powerful tools for gap closing, and don't be scared of enemies at all, because we are always able to survive scary situations and get the hell out of there.
Get this green stem over here.
This is a support-focused melee build, and this would be my recommendation if you are desperately trying to push for that Havoc 40 ranking and you want something really solid to contribute to your team. This Zealot build can do a significant amount of damage, but it also provides probably the single most useful ultimate ability in Havoc, which is the chorus ability. So our goal is to keep that up as often as possible and also just dish out some damage and help the team where we can. We're going to start off here with the Combat Blade, the Katachan Mark 6, and we've got the blessings of Lacerate and Uncanny Strike. Uncanny Strike obviously being necessary to help us kill off crushers that are going to try to get at us, but Lacerate here, that'll come back into play a little bit later on, but that allows us to get some bleed stacks, which will be great for helping with bosses. As you can see here for perks, we have Flak and Unyielding. That's going to allow us to take down those medium armor targets that we are prioritizing the most and contribute to boss damage quite effectively. For our range weapon, we want the bolt gun here. We really want to dump our bolt gun ammo very quickly and then move back to meleeing. As long as we are meleeing and keeping crits going on targets, that is going to give us the maximum cooldown rate that we can achieve, and more cooldown is more choruses, and more choruses is more winning. For our curios down here, the same curios as we saw in the first build with triple toughness across the board, combat ability regeneration, stamina regeneration, and revive speed for your allies. We'll check out the talents here, and we're going a much more defensive setup on this build with Disdain in the center, then enemies within, enemies without, and our second wind passive over here. We'll take both Purge the Unclean and Duelist. This allows us to get rid of bosses that much faster and clears hordes better. We are going to take Sunstorm Grenade. Sunstorm Grenade is a very useful grenade for saving a bad situation. My recommendation is it is okay if you sit the entire game and never use a single one of these. Do not use these unless there is something that you cannot do without using it, because when you need one of these, you want to have one, right? So if you've got an ally who is downed and you could just go walk over and pick them up, no problem. Just do it. But if you've got an ally who's down in the middle of an entire huge ass horde, that might be the time to drop a Sunstorm. You just want to make certain that we are not stealing grenades from the team, because they're not really that valuable other than clutching an objective or clutching an ally rescue, and that is when you'll want to have one of those in your pocket. Okay, moving down here, we're going to grab Sustained Assault and come on the center line for Holy Revenant and Shield of Contempt, and then Providence. This skill allows us to get over 60% revive speed. We are the ultimate team reviver, so make certain that you are using that to your advantage, right? Remember that with your chorus ability, which we'll talk about in a second, you can actually start reviving pretty much during one of the pulses, which will give you extra time. Then good balance over here on the right, and we'll take Beacon of Purity. As I said, this is for Havoc mode, and a lot of times on Havoc, the corruptive effects from gas, from enemy melee attacks, and from certain modifiers can add up quite a bit, so this will help to counteract that. Then we'll take the Chorus of Spiritual Fortitude, with the offense node, Ecclesiarch's Call. So the real way this works is that every other pulse, every second pulse, enemies will get staggered back, or at least bosses will. Just make certain that if you are going to take any actions, as far as helping allies up or whatever it might be, just be very careful to do this right after a pulse. As soon as the pulse goes out, you can start channeling the ability to get the maximum amount of time, the maximum amount of knockback, and just be very careful when you are channeling this. Mutants and sort of those things will take 2 pulses to knock back. Same with bosses, right? So just kind of hang out in their vicinity until they get knocked back, and play aggressive with this as well. As you'll see in the gameplay demo here, on this build, you are so defensive, you should have nothing to fear. But fear itself. There's literally no way the enemy can effectively kill you, so run out there in the middle of all of them with your immense speed and tankiness, and then pop your chorus and disrupt everything. Then your team closes the gap and destroys. We'll come over here on the right side and grab these 2 nodes for extra damage as well as that damage reduction, and then the setup over here is a very similar setup to our last Blazing Piety build, where we'll take Enduring Faith, Invocation of Death, Scourge, Blinded by Blood, Blazing Piety, but with this time we'll take both sides here, so we'll be able to give the team 10% crit chance as well, which is very, very potent for them. So there you go, that is a nice, solid chorus build support setup. You will also bring home a hefty amount of damage, no problem. As to why we use this combat blade, by the way, let me go ahead and explain that very quickly. We are taking the Blessing Lacerate here so we can guarantee a bleed on our first melee hit in the enemy. This means that we will very quickly stack 30% additional crit chance against that enemy, and that means also that any enemy that we touch with our knife is going to automatically take 15% extra damage. So start off every enemy hit with a body hit, with a light attack or something, so that they start taking the extra damage from not only you but the whole team. And this is also going to multiply, this is going to act as a multiplier for the whole team as well. So very, very potent. Start off your combo chains with just a little quick attack to the body to get that lacerate going, and then you can repeatedly attack them and stack your crit chance. Alright, there you go, guys. Thanks for checking this one out, and here's some gameplay of me doing Havoc 40.
Mark 6 is better than Mark 3 because the heavy 1 attack here, my fuck, that scared the shit out of me. I was scratching my head. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Stun grenade going off. Can you get him? Oh, I canceled my fucking ult because it didn't cast. Right. Fuck off. I should have got that boss out of there. He should be dead. No charging food. Kill all this shit, kill it! With fire! That guy's fucking obsessed with me. Double course. next best to play after Ogren are BDs if you started with Ogren. With the obvious second choice, because it's just a mini Ogren. I don't think there's any particular class that would improve the game further right now. They need to rebalance some of the game's systems. And like introduce new enemies and stuff. If they change the way the game, like the fundamentals of the way some of the game worked, and like specifically like around carapace and armor and damage reduction, and then just worked in the classes they have, they could open up a ton of like diversity and replayability for this game. I think right now they've started with like a design notion that's really limited what's available to be actually effective in the game. Like, in order for Hive Scum to be effective using non-laser range weapons, he literally has to have infinite ammo, right? But like, what do you do for the rest of the cast that doesn't get infinite ammo granted to them by a magic fucking pixie in the sky? And that'll be a problem going forward now, because if they buff any of the bullet weapons for Hive Scum, well, for anybody, it'll buff them for Hive Scum, and then Hive Scum might be too powerful. The reason, by the way, the reason the Mark 6 is so good is because of, like, these sweeping strikes like that. Yeah, don't question how it didn't hit me. Okay, it's better if you just don't ask questions.
Next up is the Rat Prince. The Rat Prince is our little friend who uses the shroudfield skill to skip around all the enemies and stab them in the back when they least expect it, and just sow absolute chaos and discord in their ranks. We are going to be picking off the highest and most valuable of targets, including bosses. We absolutely dumpster bosses with some serious stabs on this one, and we are just unrelentingly fast. We cannot be pinned down, and just when the enemies finally think they have you cornered, yeah, you just stealth and walk away. So we are not only just a great assassin, but a great clutch maker too, because you can always just bail out of a situation and go and get a pickup on an ally, or just retreat to a better position. We are going to start out here with the combat blade, the Mark 6, the better of the two knives, and then with the lowest mobility stat possible, we are going to take perks for carapace and unyielding, and then blessings are uncanny strike, which speaks for itself. That's just to get rid of those carapace armored enemies, and then mercy killer, which is going to really enable us to do some serious damage when we can do follow-up strikes after we get a bleed on an enemy. So this will work on crushers and stuff, but it's really effective on bosses. All you gotta do for a boss is get a couple of bleeds onto them, like such, and then just backstab them like so. So when you are backstabbing enemies, by the way, remember that their headshot hitbox actually extends behind them as well. So like, I can't reach this guy's head obviously, but it's right there. So just pretend like I'm shooting through the model and hitting him in the head. So that backstab there counted as a headshot and a backstab for the purposes of our stealth skill, which gets multipliers from both, and it got that big juicy multiplier from actually hitting the weak spot while he was bleeding as well. That's what the whole purpose of taking mercy killer is. So pretty cool, and just remember to do that on crushers and all those large targets as well. We are going to then take the spearhead bolt gun down here. The spearhead bolt gun is really good. You could also take the flamer. I think the flamer is a great pick for this because we don't do the best horde clearing, and sometimes it's just nice to be able to clear a horde and help your team. And the shroudfield ability allows us to actually get set up and pull out the flamethrower, which can take like a year to do otherwise. For our curios, we want to take dual toughness and then 1 stamina. The stamina is just going to be important because you do want to do a lot of sprinting and running and stuff like that, and this allows us to have quite a bit more juice in the tank to keep moving, and we'll have enough juice when we come out to do a push stab. As I showed you just a second ago, this is the push stab attack for this ability, and this is the most damaging single target attack that this weapon can do. So having a little bit more stamina in the tank is quite nice to be able to do this repeatedly. Stay up. Yeah, so yeah, just Second, that stamina so that you can sprint and run all over the arena for forever and ever and ever and just be unrelentingly fast. Okay, coming over here to the talent side of things, we are going to take, oh, and by the way, the additional stats here, stamina regeneration, combat ability regeneration, and revive speed for allies, which should be pretty standard by now. Over here, we are going to take Backstabber, we're going to take Second Wind, Duelist, Purge the Unclean, and then come down here and grab Blades of Faith. Again, if you are playing on console, probably wouldn't recommend this build on console, but these other two grenades are possible if you just cannot throw Blades of Faith to save your life. Then we'll take Until Death of Holy Revenant and a Sustained Assault with Desperation, Faithful Frenzy into Benediction. All the way over here, take Shroudfield with all of its augments. Remember that the way that Shroudfield works is we want to wait as long as possible before getting that backstab. We want to get the backstab within the last second of the Shroudfield ability's actual cloak, because the cooldown is going while you are in stealth. So if you can wait longer, you're going to have a shorter cooldown when you come out. And then try to get the backstab on the biggest, most valuable target possible. So Ogryns and Monstrosities are going to be your ones you'll actually want to kill the most. Obviously, it's not going to happen for bosses that much, but go for Ogryns above all else. And then we're going to come down here and take movement speed with time to kill. This is a very impressive amount of additional damage, and even when you're not in Shroudfield, it's like a mini Shroudfield going off every now and then. Another 50% backstab damage on a random attack just instantly blows up something like a bulwark. Then we'll take Hubris and Riposte. Over here, we'll take melee damage boost, Enduring Faith, Invocation of Death, Scourge, Blinded by Blood, and Blazing Piety with these three nodes here, Righteous Warrior and Stalwart. So we'll get plenty of crits going, and that will enable us to get those bleeds and get those backstab huge damages. And that is the whole build there, guys. Check out some gameplay. This one is a very, very intense gameplay, not for noobs, but if you can swing it, it is incredibly fun.
Dreamt of cleansing such a place. Work enough to kill a lifetime. Into the darkness. Sniper is dead! Shadows conceal me! The barrel is going to explode! Retreat! Rise no more! Barrel Let it be so! I walk far!
I'm afraid I don't
I judge you.
And we have Eviscerator Zealot. This build is super powerful. I love using the Eviscerator. Incredible weapon. The downside of the Eviscerator, though, is it is very slow to wield, right? Revving it up and swinging that animation around takes quite a while, but when you do connect, it is very heavy hitting. That is why this build goes out of its way to compensate for that slow attack speed by playing as a Martyrdom Zealot. So if you're liking a Martyrdom build, this is the one for you. This is the one to play. We're going to start out here with the Heavy Eviscerator with the Unyielding and Carapace stats there. Perfect Strike, which is going to give us an additional 10% melee critical hit damage, and then Shred, because that will boost our crit hit chance over that 50-60% limit, which is going to mean that we're hitting those crits more often than not. Now, the revved attack here is very strong, even without our Zealot charge, which means you can just like one-shot headshot many enemies with a revved heavy, you know, just like a crusher or whatever, no problem. For our range weapon, the heavy las pistol is amazing here. This weapon with a low stability modifier, oh, and by the way, yeah, low mobility on the heavy eviscerator. The heavy las pistol is going to be our mobility weapon. We're going to be using this to traverse around the map, and it's great. It's got good ammo capacity, good ammo efficiency. With low stability and high mobility, it's going to be one of the fastest moving weapons in the game, so we can actually use this to traverse the map when we don't want to have our slow eviscerator hanging out. And for perks here, Unyielding, Flak Armor, Infernus, and Desperado are our blessings. That's going to allow us to pump damage into bosses even at range. You know, you got a particularly nasty boss. You don't want to get near like a Beast of Nurgle who's just kind of surrounded by slime. Just go ahead and shoot him in the weak spot from a couple yards out and you'll be all right. Down here for our curios, we want to take triple wound curios. Your triple wound curios here, you could take one as some additional stamina if you would really like. I tend to believe that one stamina is pretty good, but I think that the one extra wound is probably going to be better for many players, just because that one extra wound, when you do inevitably take your Until Death proc, it's going to set you up and you're going to keep your maximum stacks of the potency from your Martyrdom. Over here on the talent tree, we're going to take Disdain, followed by Second Wind, Duelist, and Purge the Unclean for both bosses and hordes. Melee damage boost into Blades of Faith, and then down here with Until Death, on the left side we'll take Sustained Assault. In the center, we're going to do Holy Revenant against the Odds and Providence. Then we'll do Faithful Frenzy with the Benediction Aura. You could also choose the Beacon of Purity Aura if it is necessary. Then we'll take our charge with both of the nodes. And on the left side, we are going to take the Scourge and Blinded by Blood talents, and also Enduring Faith. Then we will take the Toughest Damage Reduction, Martyr's Purpose, Faith's Fortitude, and Martyrdom with Ina Shall Not Fall and Maniac. So Martyrdom will be fully active at 5 missing wounds. If you count your potential, you have 2 wounds to start. You have 3 from your curios, and you have 2 right here. That's a total of 7. You can only lose 6, right? So you have 1 bonus wound that you don't have to lose in order to get the maximum efficacy. And what this means, as I said earlier, is if you do, for instance, get procced on Until Death, this will reset you to just below that second wound, and you'll keep all 5 stacks of Martyrdom. Then we'll go movement speed boost with Hubris and Riposte over here, which is going to give us that extra damage and tankiness. And there you go, guys. So enjoy the build. Here's some gameplay footage of it working, and this is a tremendous boss damage dealer, single target murderer, and I have a ton of fun with it. I hope you do too. Thanks for watching the guide, guys. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh, actually, that's good. Why did that not corrupt me? Oh god, I can't hear over Metal Hellsinger. Oh my god. Fuck you. Oh, I hit his fucking Carapace.
Why did my charge go like past that fucking guy? Oh, I forgot to fucking rev my shit. It's okay, he's dead anyway. Oh, my music's far too loud for this shit. There we go. Quince. Where is she? She keeps falling down. Fucking clap, bitch. Bitch ass brother too. Bombstered. Oh, I thought that was an enemy. It was like my fucking ally crouching behind me. No, Twitch dropped server, unfortunately. Re-breeding dinner. What the fuck? Where's my captain? I know he's gonna spawn. Oh, captain, my captain. Demo's upstairs here. Don't threaten me with a good time. Oh shit. I'll be out of here. I wanted to hit that crusher. Got him there. We're good. Oh boy. I'm gonna go down here. Oh. Underestimated my own power. Rookie mistake. Fuck you! First behind all this. Poor Zealot is doing work right now. Very helpful. Oh fuck.
That's alright, I didn't want to.
I missed the head. Fuck. I could have popped that stim at any other time, but I wanted to pop it there and see if I could one shot. And then I missed the head. Once you get home, are you gonna get home in like March? Yeah, if it's 1 a.m. your time. If it's the 3rd, then it's my birthday. And I'll accept it from you, goth feet enthusiast. Oh, that was a good hit. It's over. It's all over. Even that's right above us.
How did we put it?
Oh wait, no, it's in that stairwell area. Copper left side. Well, I mean, we don't quite have like that much diversity. What do we have? I think we got a bubble psyker, right? Oh god. That was a spooky fucking charge I did not mean to do. Shit. Lag. Thank you. Let's be on the floor. I can't believe I haven't taken a single overhead yet. Oh fuck, I'm using gun. The distance.